Have you ever heard of Eckhart Tolle's pain body concept before? He wrote about it in his book, The Power of Now, and when I read it, it completely changed my relationship with what to do when I get upset or if I get hurt or triggered or angry or sad. It's taught me how to return to center and return to a place of peace in a really direct and immediate way. And it was so common sense that I just adopted it in my own life, started using it with great success. And then it wasn't until much later that I realized not many people know about this. And so I thought it'd be important to share that with you today, right now. It'll just take a minute, it'll be very quick, and you can have it forever after. If we haven't met before, my name is Brent. I coach people on productivity and self-actualization. So let us dive in. The pain body, Eckhart Tolle refers to as just the complete total of all of our unexpressed emotion, all of our unhealed pain, just everything in us that just never was resolved in us and just either stays in the background or sometimes gets upset or triggered and then comes to the foreground. It's very easy, of course, to see this when it happens to other people, but it's much more difficult to observe it in ourselves because when it wakes up, when we get triggered or upset, then it tends to take over the psychology. And then instead of becoming the rational, reasonable adult human beings that we are, we become rather childish and we're sort of like on a mission where it's like we have to get that person back or get their comeuppance, or we blame them, or we victimize ourselves it's because of what they did and now I'll never be okay, this kind of thing. And then we end up in sort of a trapped, sort of sulky kind of attitude. So the key to this kind of thing is when we become upset, it's not so easy to return back to center. We don't really know how. A mistake that we make when we do this is we say, oh, this is nothing. I shouldn't be so upset. This is really just such a small deal. It doesn't really matter in the long scheme. I'll just talk myself out of it. I'll just move past it. And you can see when somebody else says, oh, I'm just going to get over it, but they just say it with their words, but they never actually really get over it. Well, that's what happens to us as well. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just get rid of it. I'll push it to the side. But when we push it to the side, it doesn't ever really go anywhere. This would be the incorrect way of dealing with the pain body. So by contrast, here's the correct way. The correct way comes from the assumption that when we recognize the pain body as the pain body, so in other words, when we recognize that we are upset, we know that it's something that resolves itself and we don't actually have to do anything about it. When we're upset, it's the sort of thing that arises and goes away on its own, just like when we get a cold or when we have sort of a pain somewhere in our hand. That's obviously not a very serious pain, it's there and then it goes away without our intervention. In fact, the best way to assist in allowing the healing to occur is to just simply give it room to heal on its own. And so it's that principle that we're transferring here onto our upset or being triggered. So what you can do then when you realize that you're upset is you can just stop and say to yourself, wow, I'm so upset. And give space to that truth, give space to that reality. It's like, okay, I'm upset. The key here is to not fight against your upset. You're not trying to make yourself unupset, because if you did that, then that would be you trying to manually heal a cut on your hand or manually try to have not a cold anymore. It doesn't work that way. Instead, all we want to do is create a space for healing to occur. And we do that simply by acknowledging it and not making it wrong and not trying to expedite the recovery. So we just say, wow, I'm so upset. I give myself permission to be upset. And through offering that space, now there's relief and now the emotion can resolve itself and we can return to center. And that's how to heal the pain body. Does that make sense?